Today, we're going to compare a modified Toyota Land Cruiser against a modified Ineos Grenadier. And this is my personal 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser. And yes, overseas I know it's a Prado, but here in the US, it's a Land Cruiser. And this belongs to my good friend John over at Agile Off-Road, and this is a highly modified Ineos Grenadier that he's been working on. And when I was trying to decide which vehicle to get, I chose the Land Cruiser, but I seriously considered getting one of these. And well, today, we're out here in the desert, and we've got an opportunity to go play around on some stuff and compare these side by side, and well, kind of see who does it better, and did I make the right decision? So, we're going to take a look at flexing, we're going to take a look at breakover angle, we're going to take a look at four-wheel drive systems, fuel economy, and we're just going to camp out of them tonight and have fun and see which one is easier to camp out of. So, a lot to do today. This is going to be fun. Let's get started. All right, this should be a lot of fun today. First up, we got a primitive flex ramp out here, and we're going to flex out the Land Cruiser and see how she does. Now I have sway bar disconnect, and I have the center diff locked. I don't think we'll need lockers. Well, you know what? We're gonna put it in 4 low.
Let me just mention here, we are not doing an official ramp calculation. We're not taking wheelbase into consideration and all the things that you technically should do. We just want to have some fun and see who can get higher up the ramp. Now, my first attempt, I did it without the rear locker on, and John marked the spot. And I was like, you know, John, I think if I turn the locker on, I can get up just a little bit higher. So I slowly inched my way up. My front bumper scraped a little bit, but wow, once I was finally at my limit where that rear tire was kind of coming off the ground and losing traction, you could see how high my front tire was off the ground. I was actually very impressed with the Land Cruiser.
Okay, wow. That front passenger tire was way off the ground, but honestly, it feels pretty stable. And yes, I know that if we were doing an official thing, there would be some calculations. We would take wheelbase into consideration, but we're just doing this for fun today and tomorrow, so that's the plan. So that was good. Let's see what the Ineos Grenadier can do.
And so, all right, so now we're locked up. So I have Brad guide me up here, see how this thing does.
The Grenadier has a slightly longer wheelbase at 115 inches versus the Land Cruiser at 112 inches. And with the Ineos having solid axles, I kind of assumed that it would be able to climb higher than the Toyota.
I don't think it's going to pull that rear. No? Yeah. If it does, it'll just teeter over.
Go back up, go back up.
Well, no, it was close. Now, we measured at the front of the tire, and perhaps to do it again, we should have measured at the center of the tire. But we both have the same size wheel and tire, so this is pretty accurate. Now, while he didn't get quite as high on the ramp as I did, you can see that his passenger front tire is a lot lower than mine was, and that's the benefit of a solid axle.
Well, John, first, thanks for coming out today. This is going to be fun. First comparison done. Kind of the flex on the ramp. Not what we expected. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm not disappointed with the Grenadier, but I'm impressed with the Toyota.
Yeah. Everybody says solid axle is better. And I think it still is, in my true opinion.
We'll see on some of the other options.
However, this, wow. I was surprised by how high I got up there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much rear stroke is in the shock, because we were lifting the front tire off, which is not. But
yeah, mine was way off.
The Toyota seemed super stable.
It did,
like real stable. Like I'm having you come up, it didn't look tippy at all. Yeah. And then as I was getting up, I could see you being nervous, and I could feel it nervous, me getting tippy where it was going to tip.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed is my front bumper was kind of scraping. You had a good amount of clearance. So speaking of clearance, let's go see if we can test some of that.
Sounds good.
All right, next up is tubular. And this one should test breakover, departure angle, and John's gonna go first. We'll see how it does.
Oh gosh!
That was control arm.
Rear?
Front.
is enjoyable. All right, here we go on tubular. And I watched John hit his front control arm bracket pretty hard, so I'll be curious to see how we do, because I know he's got more ground clearance than I have. Oh! Yeah, I hit hard. Little scrape on the other side. Oh. Last part not so bad. That first part was pretty good.
John, I hit pretty hard, dude. That was harder than you hit.
I think it was just your rockers, though.
Yeah, I think you got the breakover angle for sure.
I win one.
You win one.
Next up is a section called Little Twister. It's just a straightaway with some really deep sandy ruts. Both John and I took this with a little bit of authority, and I'd say both the Grenadier and the Land Cruiser performed equally through this, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that.
All right, John is going to try this blue moderate leftovers, but he's got some new skid plates on his Ineos Grenadier he wants to test out. I'm going to forfeit this. So technically, if he doesn't make it, neither one of us get a point here.
Sorry, I can't play the adults involved in the
Easy because you come down. I don't know. Easy. You got about 3 inches, 2 inches. Now you're on the plate.
Okay.
But you should be able to make it through. Yeah.
Am I grabbing it?
You're just scraping your plate, but you got this, I think. Come a little. You need to come driver. You keep the tire off. Yep. More driver. It's all skid plates. There you go. All right, passenger. John, props.
I win one.
Dude, that was impressive. Now, you scraped the heck out of your
Yeah,
skid plates, but
okay.
that was your intention anyway,
Yeah,
to test those things out.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I think they work. But you made it through there, dude.
Yeah,
There's
these-
no way I'm getting the Land Cruiser through
And
there.
these are pretty small tires.
33s?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go get some more trouble.
Okay.
Now a close-up look of both vehicles' approach angle. And of course, the Grenadier made this look easy. The Land Cruiser, however, added some new character marks to the front bumper. But that's okay, that's what this vehicle is for. But I'm starting to realize that maybe I need to extend the height on these front coils and maybe add a taller spring in the rear just to give me a little extra ground clearance.
All right, my friend. Well, this has been a fun little playground. I think
Yeah.
we've learned a few things.
For sure.
I think the score is 3-2, something like that.
I wasn't keeping count.
I mean, look, to watch you go over that one huge one that I didn't even attempt, I forfeited. That was pretty impressive. You pretty happy with your skid plates?
Yeah. Real happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then we did the approach angle. You got me beat there.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we said that, you know, suspension-wise, it looks like mine's flexing a little bit, but you've got the ground clearance. I would argue ground clearance is probably a little bit more important.
For sure. In some ways, we're going to use the vehicles, but not everything.
True.
Right? You know?
We're racing through Baja.
I don't know. This thing worked pretty good through those bumps. Can you imagine going a little bit
That's
faster?
true. You did go through there pretty fast. In fact, speaking of fast, I think we need a drag race.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're on.
Hey, let me take a moment just really quick to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Onyx Off-Road. Onyx Off-Road is an amazing navigation system that I've been using for a couple of years, and I record all my routes, mark my waypoints, and plan my trips using Onyx Off-Road. It's a very comprehensive navigation system. If you're interested in using it and getting a discount, I will leave a link down below. And I also want to invite you to come check us out over at TrailRecon.com. We got all kinds of gear out there to outfit your next adventure. All right, I'm gonna continue on.
Now with the off-road playground behind us, it's time for some real-world testing on some trails. This is a really deep rutted section. It's actually a good little steep climb. I went through this the first time in just standard all-wheel drive, no sway bar disconnected, no center locks, no rear lockers, and I could feel the traction control system working, and you know what? It performed really well. John also started out with none of his off-road assistance on, but the traction control system just wasn't doing a great job. You can see that front tire spinning all by itself. So he switched into four-wheel drive with a center diff lock, and eventually the system worked through it and he was able to make his way up. A little struggle though, I would say, and I think the Land Cruiser did this better. We both wanted to give it another go to see how they performed with the lockers on. So we crawled down the other side of the hill, and this is actually where you can see a difference between the down travel of the two rigs. All right, one more time at this climb, and someone mentioned something about a drag race we need to get to. Now, John has both front and rear lockers engaged in no problem. The Land Cruiser only has a rear locker, but in conjunction with the Toyota's traction control system, it also made this look easy. Is anyone else thinking I need a Jeep in the mix of this comparison next time?
Next, my friend, is the part that I've been waiting for all day.
Okay.
We're gonna do a little drag race, guys, and honestly, these are both pretty powerful vehicles. I think I've got you beat in horsepower and torque, but it's a hybrid system, 4-cylinder. I don't know how we're gonna do.
Yeah, on paper it looks great,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we'll see. But with same size tires, we're both kind of heavy. I mean, we all got a bunch of gear in the back.
Yeah.
But he's a professional retired Baja racer. Are you retired?
Semi-retired.
Coming out of retirement today.
Retired, yeah.
This will be fun, guys.
You're gonna keep your window up for wind resistance.
Oh, you know, man. I've been looking forward to this all day. This is gonna be fun. I have no idea which one of us is gonna win, but I'm excited to see how this goes. And we're not going crazy far, but just far enough. I gotta remember though, I'm going up against a professional Baja racer, so it may not really matter how fast my vehicle is. All right, how you feeling? You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, I'm gonna count it down. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, he got the jump on me!
He got the jump on me! Oh man, he beat me hard.
You were counting.
I know, right? It's been a fun day so far, man.
Yeah,
we've been
yeah,
having. This has been interesting, seeing how they both perform. Anything so far that was kind of unexpected?
Yeah, the Land Cruiser works pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's going to have obviously some highlights that will not be associated with dirt.
Yeah.
Right. You know, the maneuverabilities, things like that on the road.
Right.
But yeah, I'm surprised and impressed.
Yeah. I'm really bummed I lost the race.
Yeah. I think and you counted.
I know. I should have had it.
You should have said 1, 2, and then gone, and then said go.
And then said go. So now we're at camp, and this is a great area to test our turning radius. And both of these vehicles kind of have a little bit of, I don't know, they're not the best turning radius, but the Grenadier specifically, a lot of people talk that up. Now, the Land Cruiser has had a lift kit and the tires are a little wider. That's going to affect the turning radius. So stock turning radius numbers don't matter. What have you done to the Grenadier that's going to change things?
Clearly it's modified. Lift, different offset wheels and tires, different size. But the main thing that we do on those is we change out the steering stabilizer. We put one on that has more travel, and then we adjust the steering stops.
Yeah.
And it greatly reduces the turning radius, because the steering on the Grenadier, if people aren't familiar, it's
Yeah.
it's questionable.
Yeah.
You know, and then but you can make it better.
Right.
And so it's going to be better. I'm curious, and I didn't know that the Land Cruiser specifically was having a turning radius.
Yeah, I mean, when people modify them, they're just like, oh, this isn't great anymore. But we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah. Well, this is a good example because we're actually confined in here, and you'll be able to see if you have to do the, cheat it back.
We'll see.
Once again, not being highly scientific here, just a simple line in the sand to start out. Thankfully, as I was making my turn, I didn't have to make a 2-point turn, but I did come pretty close to hitting that berm on the other side. My tires ended up on top of that line I had drawn in the sand. I thought for sure John was going to have to do a 2-point turn, but to my surprise, he actually had more room passing by that berm, and both his tires ended up on the inside of the circle of the line that we drew in the sand. So, very close, but looks like the Grenadier did it better.
You're on the other side of it. You beat me on turning.
I cannot believe I lost the turning radius. Surprising. Okay, this is where we're camping tonight, one of my favorite spots out here in the desert. And now what I think we're going to do is, one, we're going to relax for a minute. It's been kind of a long day, and let Luna run around a little bit. And then we're going to set up for dinner. But what I want to do is take a look at our camping setups because we both have our vehicles outfitted to sleep inside. So how much room is back there, how we did that, I think that'll be interesting to take a look at. So we're gonna get set up, take a break. John's over there cleaning up olive oil spill incident, and then we'll show you guys the insides of the vehicles. All right, it is absolutely incredible tonight. There is just a hint of wind, perfect desert temperature. This is the time to be out here. Now, this is my first time camping inside the Land Cruiser, and it's also Luna's first time. So we've been kind of figuring some things out. But let me talk through my sleeping system, and then I'll let John talk through his sleeping system. We'll also talk about kitchens as well. I was already over there, and yeah, I think he's got me beat, but that's okay. We've got a really, really good setup. So, I have the Goose Gear platform, and the head raises at the top and gives me 7 feet of length. I don't need that much, but it gives me plenty of room. And so I have the Born Outdoors sleeping system in here. Just inflated the air mattress. I've got sheets and blankets and a pillow. It's gonna be nice and comfortable. Here's the thing though. From the top of my mattress to the top of the roof is this long, from elbow to fingertip. That's how much room I have there. Now, for me, I was in the Navy for a long time, and I'm used to sleeping in little coffin lockers, so that's gonna be fine. And I think tonight what I'm gonna do, I brought Luna's kennel because I didn't know if I was gonna need it. I didn't know how she'd handle being in the Land Cruiser. We'll see if she just sleeps with me, but if not, I can put her kennel in here, and then hopefully I don't need it, and that's something I don't need to bring in the future. But I figured just for this trip, it would probably be nice to have. She's been camping with me a couple times now. This is her first time at camp off leash, and she's over there hanging out with John, and she's been perfect. So she's really turned out to be an amazing dog. Okay, my sleek cooking system. I forgot my table. Yep. So I don't have a table out here to cook on. I forgot that, so I'm going to add that to my list. So I'll be cooking on the Goose Gear here, which, if I didn't have the bed here, it's kind of like having a big table right there anyway. But I'm in charge of asparagus. John is going to take care of the steaks. In fact, he's already seasoned them up over there. But this is the Stokes Voltex, if I'm saying that right. This is their electric coffee press, and then this is their electric stove. I've got them hooked up to the Goal Zero, and that should help with cooking now and making coffee in the morning. I haven't used either one of these. First time. A lot of first times on this trip. The Goal Zero is temporary. We've already got something planned, and you may have seen already in the video. I didn't mention it, but there's been some changes to the Land Cruiser since you guys last saw it, and I will give an update here in the very near future. But right now I have a Goal Zero back there for battery. That's what I was getting at. All the lights are turned on. I got all my Akut stuff in here that I need. Lights, olive oil, as long as that's not spilled like John's. All my kitchen stuff's in here, and then the Dometic fridge is great. So that is my kitchen setup, and that is my sleeping setup. and I think it's going to be a wonderful night. And I'm just hoping that Luna just tucks right in, gets nice and cozy, and we sleep really good tonight. Okay guys, before I let John talk about his setup, I think it's important to show you the difference here. So, I mentioned in the Land Cruiser, elbow to fingertip is all I got from my bed to the ceiling. This is his bed. That's his ceiling. He's got twice as much.
You can do bunks in here.
You can do bunks in here. Take it over, dude. Tell us about your setup.
Okay, this is Ineos Grenadier, the wagon, and I've deleted the rear seat. It's got a goose gear platform in it, and that's it. So no drawers yet. Additional storage is just some baskets or buckets that I carry in there. I did install a table. This is a rig table that we make all the hardware specifically to bolt into the back of the Grenadier. So I've got a little bit of space here. I honestly should be carrying more of a table for putting out more stuff. But I've got a big fridge in here. This is the AirB. A nice power system, so I can run the AirB pretty much all the time. As well, I've got a Starlink on top. If I don't forget to turn it off, it's not the end of the world because the power system's in here. There's also an inverter, and then there's the bed that's in here. I did have a custom mattress made. There's a company called Roam Rest. These guys here, they make custom RV mattresses. I gave them the specs. They built this thing and they sent it out. I have one of these in my Winnebago Rebel, so I'm familiar with the firmness of it, and I really like this one here. It's about 4 inches. It does fold up, so I can fold it up into it's like a trifold, and it folds up and sits up there. A little bit of a pain to carry, but it's working so far. I also carry a Born Outdoor, but this I'm just utilizing the sheets from the Born Outdoor and the comforter for it. So that just fits right over the mattress that's in there, and it's going to be pretty comfortable. It's the first time I'm using this, and I'll have my head this way. And 6 foot 8 inches, I believe, is the area in there. So enough for me.
All right, John, quick check-in on fuel. So I don't know how many miles we did today, but how you doing on fuel right now?
A little bit less than 3/4 of a tank.
Okay, and what size is the fuel tank on this?
24. It's a little bit more than 24.
Okay, and on average, like on a trip like this, what would you see in fuel economy?
Honestly, 13.
Okay.
13.
Even off-road?
Yeah, a little bit of combination. Yeah, I might get a little bit better on the freeway, but coming out here. But yeah, for the most part, I usually calculate about 13.
Okay, and anybody working on a long-range tank for this?
There's some people that have auxiliary tanks for the diesels.
Yeah.
That potentially could be used in a gas car.
Oh, okay. Something you might do?
We're looking at a storage tank for the rear. Storage tank.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just took a look at John's fuel economy. Now, when we're going to get to the gas station and try to figure out like how many gallons we use, since we filled up at the same time, we'll see how many gallons we both put in. But I just took a look to see where I was at. I haven't been paying attention at all today, and I am at half a tank. Now, my tank is much smaller than John's. I think it's 17.8 or 17.9 gallons, which for an overland expedition vehicle is tiny. It's small. So I'll be curious to see when this trip is over, by the time we get back to pavement and go fill up, how much fuel I actually used and how much range I still have left as opposed to what John has left. But right now, he's winning that game. All right, there's our two camping setups, and I'll let you guys be the judge of which one you prefer. I think there's pros and cons to both. All right, we're gonna hang out tonight, enjoy a good dinner, enjoy the stars, and in the morning, we've got one more challenge to wrap this up. Good morning. It's a beautiful desert morning. I've had some coffee, been hanging out with Luna all morning. We've been having a great time. She went for a long walk, and it was the first time I was able to kind of let her off leash and just run, and she did great. Hey, what are you digging at back there? And she was constantly turning and looking at me and just doing all the right things, coming when she was called, just perfect. Last night, she did sleep in her crate, which I think was the right call because it kept her calm. Also, it kept her from chewing on things because she's in that chewing phase right now, which I think she's getting ready to chew on the Born Outdoor bedroll that I slept in last night. A very good kit, very comfortable. My only complaint, not really complaint, but just something that I'm taking note of is, there's not a lot of room between the bed plate system and the roof, and I can't sit up in there. And I think this is perfect for just a 1 or 2 night thing, but I'm not gonna like hang out in here for multiple nights. It's just for getting in here, sleeping, and then hanging outside, which I love to do. But it would be nice to be able to just sit up just a little. Now, last night, after dinner, John and we brainstormed a little bit and we came up with a few more things. I think last night I said we're going to do one more thing. Well, we're going to do a few more things to continue on with this comparison between the Grenadier and the Land Cruiser. So, I'm going to finish some coffee, we'll pack up, and then we're going to head out and go have a little more fun today. All right, we're back on the dirt and we've done a driver swap. And John is in the Land Cruiser for the first time, and I am in the Grenadier. And now I drove this when it was bone stock, but it's been a while since I've driven it. And I will say that it feels like a solid axle front and rear vehicle, but the suspension is very comfortable. So it's like a really comfortable Jeep Wrangler. But what I like about this after driving the Land Cruiser is I'm up higher, got a good seating position, and I have a nice view over the hood. So, you know, the seating position in the Land Cruiser and the view over the hood isn't as good as it is here in the Grenadier. All right, John, we've been cruising for about a half hour, and man, you've been pushing it hard in the Land Cruiser. What's your first impressions?
Oh, easy to drive, just super easy. Seems to soak up bumps really well. And you know, I'm not even, you know, I think it'll go even harder. There's no reason to, right? We're just having fun. But the biggest thing I noticed is the brakes and the steering in this thing. It just steers really, really well and allows you to go through obstacles and bushes and things and navigate through them a little bit nicer than the straight axle.
Yeah, I mean, the steering in this is much improved. You've done a great job with it, but I will say definitely the Land Cruiser is a little tighter. And that was one of the first things I did notice right away when I came to a stop after we were kind of hauling. I was like, oh yeah, the brakes on here aren't as good.
You know, they could be better. This one, but when you put on the brakes on this, it just grabs the dirt really, really well. And you can be steering into a turn, front brakes grab, they don't push. The Grenadier has a tendency to push if you overcook it.
Yeah, copy. How's the acceleration feel in that?
Good. You know, it's not, you know, nothing like my little Ranger Raptor that I got, but this thing, you know, for what we're doing, it gets after it good. No problems, no complaints.
Yeah, copy. Yeah, you got a good vehicle here too, man. I don't know. I think they're both made for exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, we're getting ready to have a little bit of fun. Before we do that, one thing that I want to talk about, and that is spare tire placement. So on the Land Cruiser, we have a lift tailgate, which is kind of nice because you got a little bit of an awning and some shade and some rain. However, it is nice to have a little tailgate, or in John's case, he's got a tailgate table because his doors come out. So the doors on the Land Cruiser and the Ineos open differently. I think I like the Land Cruiser setup better. However, he's able to mount his spare tire on the back, which I am not able to do. It's underneath and it reduces my departure angle. So I don't know who wins and loses, but I do like having the spare tire up and out of the way and not underneath. But I like the Land Cruiser tailgate. What do you guys think? All right, we're gonna go do a little race up this hill. And this time, John is gonna drive both vehicles, and we're gonna time it and see how fast he can get up the hill. I'm gonna let him just get after it in the Land Cruiser.
John, you ready?
Yep, ready.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right. So I'm just in drive. I want to finesse it a little bit, but let's go. I don't think you want to go up a hill like that too much, but that was pretty fun.
John, how'd it feel?
Good.
Yeah?
Good. Yeah.
17.26 seconds.
Okay.
You think you can do it faster in a Land Cruiser?
I think it'll go maybe a little bit quicker.
All right.
We'll see.
Let's
We'll
see. All right, John, ready in the Land Cruiser?
Ready. The engine's turned off though. What's going on?
It's that hybrid, man. It'll do it. It'll come on. Ready? 3,
2, 1, go!
Oh, that was the lag on the start of the drag race. Oh yeah. Way better. I think that one's a little bit quicker.
Well, how'd it feel?
faster.
It did feel
Oh, yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
you were faster?
I think so, yeah. Down at the bottom, though, it really lagged because of the
Yeah.
hybrid. The motor's actually turned off when you take off.
I saw
so I
that.
know why you lost the drag race.
Yeah, well, 16.6. So about
Okay.
a half second faster.
Yeah.
Had it not had that lag, you would have been in the low 16s, maybe even the 15s.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
fun.
No, it is. Yeah, it is fun. I don't think we'd be doing this, you know, as a, but it's definitely fun.
It's fun. Not scientific, guys. We're just having fun.
All right, next up, John and I are heading up into these mountains, and we're going to show you a little bit of comparison on an easy kind of to moderate trail. And this is a trail that most folks can do in a bone stock Land Cruiser and Grenadier. So you don't really need a modified one to do this trail, but there's some nice little obstacles along the way, and we'll show you side by side kind of how they do. But more importantly is, you know, we've been out all day yesterday, all day today, and we're getting a little low on fuel. I'm at a third of a tank and John is at a half a tank. Now, I would never advise anybody to start a trail like this on such a low amount of fuel, but this is all in the name of science. When we get done, we're gonna go hit a gas station and we're gonna see how many gallons each vehicle actually use. But I'm gonna finish airing down and we're gonna head up here.
Now, some of you may recognize this trail, which is just outside of Julian, California. If you think you know what it is, let me know down in the comments below. Now, I'm not going to do any fancy editing here like I normally would on a trail adventure video just for the next couple minutes. I want you to see how each of these rigs performs one after the other, going through some of these obstacles, and you can decide who did it better. So sit back and listen to the engines growling, the crushing of the rocks under the tires, and more than a few bangs and scrapes of steel as we climb up the mountain.
Well, this was a fun bonus run. I haven't been up here in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little more rugged than I remember.
Yeah, there's been some washouts, and you can see where they repaired the trail in a couple of spots.
Yeah, it was cool to see how the two vehicles worked in that real world setting, and I think I banged more than I liked. So I think there's a solution for that, though. I think I can lift that front coil a little bit and maybe put a taller spring in the rear. I don't know if I'll be Ineos tall, but I can help it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually getting it a little bit more ride height and even firming it up,
Yeah.
it's not going to hurt yet because it runs really, really well down the desert.
Yeah. What did you learn most about the Ineos this trip?
The lockers being, it's the traction system.
Yeah.
You know, so believe it or not, I mean, there was that section where it got kind of hung up and you had to use the lockers. You know, the factory lack of traction control.
Yeah.
But it's good.
It's good.
It's got everything.
You got the lockers. Okay. Fuel. You're below half a tank?
Yeah.
I'm just a hair above a quarter tank, which we got enough to get to the gas. I have enough to get to the gas station, but we're gonna pause right here and fast forward in time and show you guys how many gallons of fuel we actually used.
Now, it's important to mention that both these vehicles recommend using 91 octane, which in remote areas can sometimes be difficult to find. Now, who used the most fuel? Well, the Land Cruiser used 13.6 gallons and the Grenadier used 16.2 gallons. That means the Land Cruiser had 4 gallons left and the Grenadier had 7 gallons remaining. Pretty interesting.
All right, so there you have it. I know already that range is a little bit of my challenge, but if I put a little bit lighter tire on in the future, that'll help a little bit. And maybe, I don't know, maybe a rear bumper with tire carrier fuel. I just don't want to add the weight, but I think it's going to end up happening eventually. But this has been fun, dude.
Yeah.
This has been a blast, and I appreciate you coming out here. And spending time.
Anytime. Yeah.
Perfect. Desert weather.
Yeah. No, it's been awesome today.
Yeah. All right, guys. John from Agile Off-Road, if you're looking for stuff for your Grenadier, check it out. And if you're looking for stuff for your Toyota Land Cruiser, check us out over at TrailRecon.com. Until next time, safe travels.